MILFH is too obsessed with our lives, specifically wants to see his son almost every day. And drama with Sil. So here's the story. My husband and I is married for 3 years now. MILFH was a nice person and treated me nicely in the beginning of our marriage. She's living with my Phil and my husband's only sister. Well, his eldest sister, my Sil, is married with 3 kids, a fake bitch with a knows-it-all attitude. But I don't really care much. So anyways, MILFH loves his son, my husband, so much that she expresses it every time we see each other up until now. Okay, I get it, he is the mother. The first year of marriage, we stayed at my husband's family house with everyone in it, including Sil and her husband and the kids. The first year of our marriage was really rough. We were young and childish, we sometimes had fights. My husband would leave me in the room for days not talking to me, and let his mother do the talking. And every time she did, she would reassure me saying that it's just another bad day of marriage and convinced me that her son is not the problem. In fact, she doesn't really know my husband more than I do. Then it became too much, so we started to move out from his family home to mine the following year. Coincidentally, my husband's workplace is actually too far away from his family home than mine. And plus, I gave birth to our first daughter the following year, so I had my postpartum days living with my mother, who took care of me. So yeah, we finally moved out to my family's home. Yay. However, even during my postpartum days, my MILFH would visit us every once a week, and her excuse was that she just wants to see her grandchild, but my gut says that she also wants to see her son, and it's become her habit that she expresses it she sees him. After my postpartum days ended, MILFH always contacted me to check up on us, especially her son, and says she misses us, but I know deep down it's not us that she actually misses. She would just randomly texted me and ask when will we come home to her? Why we didn't call or video call her every day? Why and why? And I'm so tired of all those questions, as if we can't have our own lives. She even told me that she would cry almost every day because she misses us so much that it has been many weeks that we haven't come and see her. I even rant this to my mother, and she said that my MIL is indeed too, so we had to visit her at least once a week. It's a long 1-hour drive to go there, and so we only managed to visit there for over 3 to 4 hours, and when it's time to go back home, she would say like, why so quick? I miss you guys so much, when will you guys come again here? Will you guys come here again next week? And it's became very annoying. A year later, things happened with my Sil and her fucked up husband. They got loans to pay up, to us and even to her own parents. They even used my husband's details to get a car. This happened before we got married, so I didn't know at first, and now they don't want to pay up. Eventually we had to pay up their loans. My Sil is a jealous ass bitch and can't even see us wearing fancy things. She is very competitive with us and it's annoying. My husband and Sil got into talking fight, and Sil blocked us everywhere on social medias after guilt tripping my husband, saying that my husband refuses to help her and her kids, saying that my husband doesn't love her and her kids. She also using religious stuffs against my husband, saying that this is test for me and for my husband as well. Whether or not my husband wants to help or not. Sue. Anyways, my MILFH that we haven't seen each other for many weeks, partially blaming us for not helping Sil paying up their loans. And has been saying religious stuffs against us, saying that it's also a test for us BCS we haven't seen her for so long and we have to help the Sil. This made me cry. My husband had to help my Sil's husband to pay up their loans, and I'm so tired of all this drama. Last week, we finally see his mother, and the Sil doesn't want to see us and locked up her kids inside the room with her, as if we are at fault. She doesn't even bother to see my kids. What to do with MIL supporting fucked up daughter and her husband? What to do with Sil? Comment. You and your husband are adults, and as adults are entitled to make your own decisions, including politely, but firmly declining requests, invitations, or demands from your husband's family of origin, parents, siblings. This is one of the hardest things to learn to do when you become an adult. Politely, but firmly say sorry, But no, I cannot do that. Sil and her husband are adults and responsible for paying their own loans. Mil is an adult and responsible for making her own decisions. If she chooses to help Sil, that's on her. She can ask you to help, but you are entitled to decline to help. When you and your husband married, you each left your family to create a new family unit. Your little family unit is yours and your husband's highest priority. You made it that when you made your marriage vows to each other. This is another hard thing to learn to do. Think of yourselves as a separate family unit from your parents and siblings. That's the circle of life. You have an immediate family unit of your siblings and parents that you grow up with. But when you become an adult, move out, get married, you leave your family unit created by your parents to create your own family unit. Your husband's family of origin is a bunch of takers. They want everyone else to loan them money or pay their bills rather than managing their own finances themselves. It is not your obligation to loan them money unless you can afford to never get paid back and your own needs and desires have been met. They are all trying to force you to support them when it is their responsibility to support themselves. You and your husband need a break from them. You need to go build your own lives as your own little family unit, doing fun adventurous things together, etc. Lock up your credit, and next time they throw religion, tell them to revisit the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal, which she did when she used your husband's identity to take out a loan and then not pay for it, leaving you and your husband with the debt. Remind her that you are still considering prosecuting and suing her for it. And thou shalt not envy. Let her know that you are waiting for her to repay the money she stole from your household and she can be civil and not so jealous. Girl, your husband needs to grow a spine. You need to tell him you are going no contact and no more financial support for Sil. You should not be responsible for paying Sil and her husband's loans. Even the one they used your husband's details for. They should be grateful you didn't press legal charges. Next story 2. Mil, who can't take care of herself, wants to help with our baby. My Mil is absolutely off her rocker. She definitely has a way to go to catch up to some on this sub, but still. She has a load of medical problems and I feel bad for her husband cause he takes care of her, but I'm sure he feels trapped because she is super needy. She can't even brush her own hair. We are having our first baby in a little over a month and have been planning things out with all our family about visits and whatnot. Because my Mil is not a planner, we try to tell her everything far enough in advance, but she is truly a do it at the last possible minute kind of person. Anyway, we sent out a message to Mil and her family and Phil and his family. They have been divorced and remarried most of my husband's life, and I love Phil and step Mil, who I usually refer to as Mil cause she is amazing, explaining our birth plan and hospital expectations last week. But weeks ago, we asked Mil if she'd be back in the state. She prefers it there, but that is not her main residence, before baby arrives, so we could plan accordingly. She said yes. But then, because my husband will be off for 4 weeks after birth, she asked if we would bring our newborn baby all the way across the country. All of the rest of our family is in the same state as us within 4 hours, after she is born, implying she does not intend to be back in the state before baby arrives. She of course would pay for that. It's fortunate for her she didn't ask me because I have gone off on her before. We didn't speak for 3 years, honestly kinda wish that was still a thing, and would not have been afraid to do it again. She even was suggesting that they would drive us there in an RV, and of course she'd help us with the baby and lay down with her for naps. My husband missed that part initially, but I wanted to read what she said and nearly threw up in my mouth seeing that. Fortunately, I guess while my husband was processing how to say hell no in the nicest way possible, she realized the error of her suggestion and apologized. Half-heartedly though. It's frustrating because I think she is kinda over the whole grandbaby stuff, because her husband's kids all have babies and she's done the first time thing, but they aren't her bio grands and she hasn't even been in his kids' lives for that long. And when she talk about them she calls them her grandbabies. So I guess I'm salty because she hasn't cooed over us the way she has them. She's hasn't offered or asked if we need anything for the baby, not even just some clothes, and that I know these things are eating up my husband and there is nothing I can do about it, especially since she is the source for 95% of his childhood traumas. Comment. Politely but firmly. That's how you decline invitations, requests, or demands from parents that you don't want to do for whatever reason. Sorry mom, but traveling cross-country with a newborn doesn't work for us. Do not justify, do not provide reasons, it's just sorry, but no, that doesn't work for us. So, you feel bad that she isn't cooing over you like she did her stepchildren. Yet then you say she is responsible for 95% of your husband's childhood traumas. So which is it? Why would you feel bad that she isn't giving you attention when she treated your husband badly as a child? Why would you want someone who treated your husband badly as a child to have quality time with your child? Why does your husband feel bad about his mother dissing him, when she created all kinds of drama and trauma for him as a child? You and your husband need to think about this and what is best for your child. Everyone says you should ensure that grandparents have access to their grandchildren, but that doesn't work when the grandparents are toxic. That doesn't work when the grandparents don't want to out in any effort. If your husband feels bad about the lack of attention from his mother, despite the fact that she created childhood traumas for him, then he needs to get some therapy from an experienced trauma therapist, specialize in adults who experienced trauma as a child, not just physical trauma. In your shoes, I would be relieved. She doesn't want to make the effort to come here. Great. I don't have to deal with her drama. Get over that she has fussed over her step-grandchildren, focus on what is best for your family unit. Drop the rope with her. Off up when she can visit, and if she chooses not to visit, that is on her. It is not your responsibility to set yourselves on fire to keep her warm. It is not your responsibility to ensure that she has access to visit on her schedule. You are the parents, she is the grandparent, she is the one who is supposed to adapt to your schedule because you have a baby that will require consistency and stability in schedules, etc. I'm sorry she isn't thrilled to be involved or dying to come visit, but honestly, won't you be glad that's the case when the new babe arrives? She can't brush her hair. Imagine the burden she'd be even just being around, not to mention when she inevitably wants to hold your brand new baby. I know it stings a little, and seems like she doesn't care, but she's the cause of his traumas and she's helpless. Neither of those things should be associated with your postpartum experience. You need people around you that are there to help out, not cause you stress. Your husband may feel a little hurt right now, and he should express that to her, but also tell her that toting a newborn cross-country is the dumbest thing he's ever heard. There's zero reason for him to be nice to an idiot like that and try to let her down easy. A brand new baby. In a GD camper? You want a newborn at some disgusting campground? Has she lost her mind as well as her physical abilities? The fact that it crossed her mind at all to ask you to bring a newborn across the country should say everything. Selfish and clueless, as well as irresponsible. So, give your husband some extra love and attention, ask your family to really include him and make him feel loved in all the new baby/new parents hullabaloo, and thank your lucky stars that she's thousands of miles from you.